Welcome home, family. So how are you? I was very sleepy before I started this video. I know you don't need to know all the behind the scenes, but I really had to press forth because I just finished eating some good old pancakes. So I was very, oh, I'm getting a text from my daughter while I started the broadcast. Sorry about that. But I was very distracted. It was that sleepyitis, that Satan trying to make me sleep again. And so my husband was like, you know you need to get up, so let's do this film. So with all of this talking out the way, let's get started. I ask God to give me a positive spirit to do this video and put good energy into it so it can be released unto you. All right, so let's get started. So today I'm going to make a dish. I know it's green. Everything she makes is salad. But this is going to be a cooked dish, but we're going to do mostly, I want to cook this, but we're going to like steam it. It's going to be considered a hot dish. So I have some beautiful kale and cabbage. Now we're going to make kale, cabbage, a little bit of shredded carrots to go over it. And then we're also going to incorporate this over, you can have this over rice if you like. For the meat, even though we try not to consume too much red meat, but I do have some chicken sausages that are going to be very tasty with this. And we're just going to enjoy that. Now, let me read you some benefits of kale. I know every time when I cook something, I must read the benefits because you got to know why you eating this stuff so you can feel good about eating it. Because it can be made delicious, but it's also good for you. So let me read you some benefits of eating the kale. Now this kale is really beautiful and leafy. It kind of looks like like a collard, probably like a collard or a turnip, but it's in that family. Okay, kale has calcium and phosphorus, crucial for health, bone formation. It has a high intake of vitamin K. Okay, a cup of cooked kale provides almost 5 times an adult's daily needed for vitamin K, around 15 to 18% of calcium. It's very high in fiber. That's one benefit of kale. Okay. Another thing that it has antioxidants that help the body remove unwanted toxins that result from natural processes and environmental pressures. Is also toxins known as free radicals, unstable molecules, anything that's too built up in the body that can lead to cell damage. Now, to say all of that of what kale is just a very good antioxidant vegetable for you to consume. You notice that if you eat kale a lot, they're now serving that, incorporate that into like the fast food menus now. Chick-fil-A, I love that. That's one of the options they have. They have like a nice kale. They call it superfood because it is a superfood. Kale is I would say that it tops just the collards and the turnips. Even though collards and turnips are very good for us, kale is one of those leafy vegetables that you can eat raw. And I love it. Because one thing I like about it is that it gets directly to the point. Now it can give you gassy. It can leave you gassy. So, but there are things that you can do to cut down on that. A little bit of brown sugar, that kind of cuts down on the kale. Now I'm saying brown sugar mixed in with some honey. I don't mean just sprinkle brown sugar on your kale. But I noticed that Chick-fil-A, they have a dressing, and when I taste that dressing, it tastes like a little bit of honey with brown sugar that's lightly drizzled on it. Possibly a little vinegar, red wine vinegar that they incorporate in that. I noticed there's like a little sauce on that salad when you eat it. Those who eat that, they're familiar with that. But kale is a very good, rich, antioxidant leafy vegetable that is in between with the lettuce family, also cousin to the collards and the turnips that you can eat just raw. Because I wouldn't recommend, well, I take that back. With cabbage, you can eat cabbage raws too. That's another vegetable because you eat that with coleslaw. Because whenever you get a good coleslaw, I'm very picky about my coleslaw because if it's not prepared right, you know, I don't even want it. So all coleslaws are not prepared the same. So that brings us to our next vegetable, which is the cabbage. Okay, cabbage is good for, I have a loved one now that's going through radiation treatments, but cabbage is good for protection from radiation therapy. A compound found in cabbage and other vegetables known as a 3.3 has been shown to increase short-term survival rates in some animal studies on radiation. And it was, when they say it like that, what they're saying is it protects the cells from the body getting damaged from that radiation. That cabbage is helping with sustaining those healthy cells for you. So if you know someone that's going through that, that's a good meal to incorporate into their diet, eating cabbage. Okay, and then another good thing about eating cabbage is it's a cancer prevention. Cabbage is good for, researchers show that cabbage is consistently shown consuming this vegetable is associated with a lower risk of cancer. It has been pinpointed that the sulfur-containing compound that gives vegetables their bitter taste is also what gives them cancer-fighting power. Researchers are currently testing this ability to delay or impede cancer. Promising results of molecular level have been seen with multiple types of cancer, including melanoma, esophageal, prostate, and pancreatic cancer. So our forefathers, our grandmothers and grandfathers, and you hear people talking about some good old cabbage. Cabbage is good for you. It's good in more ways than one. And you need to try it sometimes without just overcooking it, because I know sometimes we tend to overcook that, and then it overcook our vegetables sometimes, and it cooks all the healthy nutrients out. So when you're at like a picnic or a potluck or something, outdoor activity, and they're serving coleslaw, especially if it's good coleslaw, you know, you need to partake of that, because cabbage, that's basically what coleslaw is. You just chopped up cabbage with carrots and a good dressing. You know, it's a very powerful cancer fighter. So that is something that you can consider when you're consuming this cabbage. So I've done enough talking. I already told you what the good benefits of, and I'm going to make this dish. I'm going to make myself make this dish. I want to eat this dish, but I don't want to work to do it. But that's just me speaking out loud. But since I have such a love for helping people, I'm going to go forth and I'm going to make this dish for us. Okay, we're going to eat it together, and I'm hoping that you'll, try to make this yourself, because it really is good for you. And you want things that's not, you just not want to just be eating things. Sometimes you want to know what you're eating or know what it's all about. And these things that I'm preparing for you today is something that's going to be good for you. Okay, so I have just finished completing the meal. So what I did was I made some, and if you want to have this meatless, you don't have to have meat, because sometimes I'll just make my meals just vegetarian. And I added some extras to the collards. Why am I saying collards? These are not collard greens. Every time I look at them, I think of collard greens. But the kale, I added a jalapeno pepper. That's optional. But I added celery, garlic, a little bit of ginger, purple onion, and then we have the shredded carrots along with it. I'm thinking, is there anything else? I think that's it. Celery, garlic, ginger, purple onion, jalapeno, and carrots. And then on the side for protein, for those who want meat, I have a chicken sun-dried tomato sausage. Or is this the Italian one? I think that's the Italian one. The Italian one. But I also made some rice. And what I do is I like to fry my rice. So in frying, it's just basically you're sauteing it. I just think it adds more flavor to the rice. I just don't like bland tasting rice. For me, I like my rice to be seasoned. You know, if you like yours boiled like that, you can do that. And I still basically boil it. But what I do is I saute it with the olive oil and the butter. Put a little bit of the pink Himalayan salt on that. Or you can add veggie broth. And I fry it, like saute it. Then I add the water at the after it gets a little brown on it. And the rice to me tastes so much better and well seasoned. I have a lot of family that works in restaurants and things, so I got some of those tips. But I love my rice prepared like that. But yeah, it's a very delicious meal. I'm not going to take my word for it all the time. I'm going to ask the cameraman to come around and taste this, because I think it tastes delicious. Yes, I'm going to put him on the spot like he always put me on the spot to do something. So taste it.
Hello everybody. Let's see. Mmm. Delicious.
You taste all the seasonings? Okay, so what I seasoned in this,
Very delicious.
how I cooked this was with the vegetables. I used olive oil, tablespoon of plant-based butter, and then I added the pink Himalayan salt to the oil. So I seasoned the oil first. Then you don't need a lot of water in this when you're cooking these vegetables, because you know the cabbage by itself has a lot of oil in it as well. Did I say cabbage? I don't think I said cabbage. That was one of the other components in the well, you saw all that in the previous clip. But yeah, you don't need a lot of water. You can add possibly like 1/4 cup or 1/3 cup of the veggie broth to saute it in lightly, but don't add a lot of water to it, because the vegetables are going to sweat down. And cook it on a low flame if you're on a gas stove. Cook it on a low setting if you're on an electric stove, and it'll all of these flavors are married together. You know, if you just let it cook slow, just simmer cooking. My grandmother used to always tell me that's the secret to good food, is cooking it nice and slow. You can't just cook it fast. That helps season food as well, and makes it taste great. But I thank you for watching. I hope you try this delicious meal out. It's very tasty, very healthy, and you'll feel good about yourself after you eat this. And oh, let me add this tip. I did sprinkle a little bit of the organic sugar, just regular organic sugar, on the vegetables, the teaspoon of that, so it'll cut down the kale and the cabbage together, because kale and cabbage is gassy, just to let you know. So I was taught to always put a little sugar on that to cut down the gases in your, in your stomach. You don't want to experience that, neither the people beside you. So but thank you for watching, and remember, you're always welcome home. Mwah.